Hey there guys, gals, and non-binary pals, GM Potter here. Welcome to my channel where I review books and bookish things. I upload on Thursdays and alternating Tuesdays, and today's book is The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. Let's get into it. So, I'll include a picture of my copy of the book here. This book I saw when it first came out. I wanted to get it. I didn't have the money to buy another book because I had other books that I planned on buying, so I let it sit there. I come back to the bookstore a couple months later. It has 2 price reduction stickers on it. One for $10 and then the final one for $3, proclaiming that it is cheap. And it made me angry. It made me angry for the book because this is a book I wanted to read and I should be happy because I'm getting a deal. But this is a Stonewall winner. This is a Stonewall award-winning book. And it made me upset because this book deserves better, especially my opinion on this cemented when I read the book. This one has a 4.36 on Goodreads. It is a solid 5 stars for me. It is a YA LGBTQIA plus book that is told through poetry and prose in the style of Maya Angelou. The author and the character are both inspired by Maya Angelou's poetry and her books. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings behind me. Very powerful, very moving book. Yeah, it's moving, it's interesting, it's fascinating. And this book deserves so much better than to just be on clearance. Like I said, this is a YA novel told through poetry and prose. It's the story of self-discovery, of self-acceptance, of self-advocacy, and finally self-love. And our main character, Michael, is half Greek Cypriot and half Jamaican. He's a teen in London, and he moves to Brighton for college, and he feels disconnected from everything about himself. He's not Greek enough to hang out with the Greek group. He's not black enough to hang out with the black group. He's not gay enough for the gay group. He's not anything enough for anybody. He's filled with this notion that he is not enough. And it is heartbreaking as he comes to this decision, and then he finally finds his group. He finds his group in the drag society on campus. And he doesn't want to dress up as a man or a woman. He wants to dress up as his true self. And he calls himself the Black Flamingo, and he recites some of his own poetry, and it is so moving and so powerful. And he confronts someone that quite honestly took advantage of him. He thought it was going to be the start of a relationship, and this guy just wanted to get his rocks off and then wouldn't talk to him. In America, you'd say that he's on the down low, that he engages in homosexual acts, but he doesn't consider himself a member of the gay community and presents himself as straight and is actually very homophobic and uses Michael he knows what he's doing when he uses him, and then won't talk to him because he's so disgusted by the things he did to this boy. I say boy, he is an adult. He is a legal adult, but in his mind he is still childlike. And the things Jack does to Michael are just, the way he treats him is awful, and their confrontation is a huge power moment for Michael, because he has to, he says in the book that if the drag society was there when this confrontation happened, that they would jump in and defend him, and it's better that he was by himself because he had to defend himself. He had to finally stick up for himself. And that is something that we all have to do eventually. We all have to stick up for ourselves eventually and take care of ourselves and all of this, that, and the other. And this book is so powerful and so moving, and while Michael's story is not my story, I did see myself in this because there have been many times where I haven't felt like I was enough. I was in the Girl Scouts, and I volunteered with the Boy Scouts and the Cub Scouts, and I was too old for the Cub Scouts. That's why I volunteered and worked with them. Even though when I first started volunteering, I was only a couple years older than some of the oldest kids. I was more mature and than them, and so I couldn't really relate to them on a peer level. So I was a leader, and I wasn't girly enough for the Girl Scouts. I remember there was this one camping trip I went on, where we were all talking about, we were up late in the tent and talking about the people that we had crushes on, and I mentioned that I had a crush on a girl. And the other girls kicked me out of the tent, made me sleep outside on the ground, and the leader backed them up on it. And I was so ashamed because I felt like I had done wrong, that I wasn't girly enough to be in the Girl Scouts, that I didn't tell anybody. That obviously I'm not a boy, but I worked with the Boy Scouts. Like, I wasn't part of that group either. That I always felt like I was an outsider on whatever group I tried to be part of. I never felt like I belonged any one place until I moved across the state of Texas to Dallas and found people who also felt like they never belonged. And it's this universal feeling of wanting to belong and finding a group that you can belong to that makes this story so universal. That honestly, if this is a universal theme, maybe we should all be nicer to each other, but that's not how the real world works, I guess. So, have you read The Black Flamingo? Have you read any Stonewall nominated or winning books? I would love to hear what you think about poetry books and novels told through poetry and prose, because I thought it was a very interesting and effective narrative device. I'd love to hear your opinions. Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!